Are you ready for a reboot? Welcome to the Sheila Mac Show, reality at its finest. History reminds us those hit hardest often become the change makers. This year, we've all hit crazy economic, social, and emotional rock bottoms. We all get knocked down. Something hits globally, locally, personally. It affects our health, finances, our relationships. We have to recreate a business or career. Each show, Sheila and her special guest will be sharing their reboot stories, guiding you with real solutions to upgrade and up-level emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. Here on NBC's KCAA Radio. If you're ready to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and bra straps, enjoy a listen. Here's Sheila.
Welcome to the Sheila Mac Show, reality at its finest. Here we have real people sharing real stories and actionable steps to help you reinvent, rebuild, and reboot your business and personal life on your terms. I'm your host, Sheila Mac, and today we have special guest, Jay Leo. Jay went from being a broke janitor at Knott's Berry Farm, making $7 an hour, to making over 7 figures with its online business at only 26 years old, and has helped hundreds of people quit their 9-to-5 job by selling products online. All right, welcome to the show, Jay.
Hey, thank you so much, Sheila, for having me. I'm super excited to be here and be able to share as much value as I possibly can to you and your audience.
Yes, now, I actually met you while we were traveling doing the Tony Robbins Platinum program. So, and you were known as the Baby Plat at the time. You were one of the youngest to enroll in so much personal development and travel and learning. So you are by far my favorite. And I am definitely the witness to saying that you have done so much. And I am incredibly impressed with you. Now, I wrote this book about, it's called Bootstraps and Bra Straps. Let's see, I don't know. Oh, there it is. The formula to go from rock bottom back into action in any situation. And we have had just about every situation happen. And so this show is to inspire people to get back on track. And so I'd love for you to share about a time in your business or personal life where you experienced a tough situation and how you got back on track.
Yeah, totally, man. I have so many of those times in my arsenal. But one thing I would like to say before I get into it is that a setback is a setup for a major comeback. And as you go on your journey for whatever goals or dreams that you're going after, there are going to be plenty of setbacks that come your way. But you have to realize it's just a setup for a major comeback, and it brings with it feedback to actually help you make a comeback. And one of my biggest times that I can think of that actually were the most, at one point I thought was detrimental, where I didn't know how I was gonna come back, is actually a time when I actually grew, when I start to have a little bit of success, and my business did, like, its first year into it, it did about $250,000 within that first year. And I'm thinking I'm on top of the world. And at the time, I come from a very, very poor family. So that was a lot of money all at once. And I feel like anyone who's been in my situation, literally just like dead, broke, and poor, we lived in poverty. When you get a whole bunch of money, the first thing we think about is just living a life we never had. So after that year of making $250,000, I literally just start spending all this money. And then I end up not only surrounding myself with the wrong people and the wrong crowd, and losing myself, thinking that I had to be and have this certain type of image to be accepted. And then I also just stopped doing what was working, my business, because I got so distracted. So that led me down a path of actually losing myself. And that same business that did $250,000 in that year end up literally doing negative tens of thousands of dollars the following year. And I just was like depressed. I have to move back in with my mom. And even to make matters even worse, I also bought my dream car back then, which was a Tesla Model S. And literally when I moved back in with my mom, I was doing Grubhub with my Tesla. So I don't know if you guys know what that is. Grubhub is just like a Uber Eats where you just pick up people's food and then you literally drop it off and you deliver it to them. And I'm over here doing Grubhub with them, a Tesla, and everybody that dropped their food off, they're literally looking at me like, what the heck? Either they're paying that good or you got some tricks under your sleeve. So that was a time, and it took a lot of humility for me to actually do that, to actually do Grubhub. But I made a commitment to myself that once I go all in on my business, I'm not going to work for anyone else ever again. So I decided like to humble myself, and I realized, okay, I have to do Grubhub in order to make money. And the reason why I like doing Grubhub back then is because you can do instant payouts, which is, I don't know how it is set up right now. But it's where you get, let's say if you make $100 in a day, you can literally withdraw that money that same day. And the reason why I needed this is because although I lost all that money, I had to move back in with my mom, and to make it in, when I moved out my luxury apartment, the last final month, my girlfriend had to pay for my rent because I had no money at all.
If you are just tuning in, this is NBC Sheila Mac Show here on KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind. I'm your host, Sheila Mac, and I have a special free gift announcement for you. That's right. Get a free introduction to the Boots formula and meditation by joining our email list for business leaders, busy moms, and rock stars like you. To get your free gift, just go to www.sheilamac.com/free gift. That's right, sheilamac.com/free gift for your gift today.
It matters even worse. I also bought my dream car back then, which was a Tesla Model S. And literally, when I moved back in with my mom, I was doing Grubhub with my Tesla. So I don't know if you guys know what that is. Grubhub is just like a Uber Eats where you just pick up people's food and then you literally drop it off and you deliver it to them. And I'm over here doing Grubhub with them, a Tesla, and everybody that dropped the food off, they're literally looking at me like, what the heck? Either they're paying that good or you got some tricks under your sleeve. So that was a time, and it took a lot of humility for me to actually do that, to actually do Grubhub. But I made a commitment to myself that once I go all in on my business, I'm not going to work for anyone else ever again. So I decided like to humble myself, and I realized, okay, I have to do Grubhub in order to make money. And the reason why I like doing Grubhub back then is because you can do instant payouts, which is, I don't know how it is set up right now. But it's where you get, let's say if you make $100 in a day, you can literally withdraw that money that same day. And the reason why I needed this is because although I lost all that money, I had to move back in with my mom, and to make it in, when I moved out my luxury apartment, the last final month, my girlfriend had to pay for my rent because I had no money at all to actually pay for the rent. So she paid for that last month. And then the month after that, there was no way I could make it. So I moved back in with my mom, canceled the lease early. But one great thing that I would say is that through all those setbacks, you can lose everything. You lose money, you can lose friends, you can lose all those things. But one thing you can never lose is the wisdom and knowledge that you've developed and the skills that you actually develop. And I like a saying that I say to my students, the skills pay the bills, right? So once you have skills, these are things that can always change your life, no matter where you are in one position. So what I had to do is I had to humble myself, and I literally started doing Grubhub for extra money. And then with that money that I would use, I still have my skill set of running advertisements on social media. So literally I started running ads again with all the skills that I developed, selling products online. And then shortly after, that started to help me get back on my feet. And then I got my store back up to $5,000 a month and $10,000 a month. And it just started growing and growing and growing. So that's a time that I was literally down and out. And I rise myself back up by going back into what brought me to the first place, because I feel like all of our failures have lessons that just would constantly teach us to go to the next level. But we have to reflect on it. Like Tony Robbins says, when we succeed, we party, but when we fail, we ponder. And it's in our pondering that we find our greatest success. So that was so true. And if you don't understand that quote, it just means like when we succeed, sometimes we're blinded by how we succeeded because we're just celebrating, we're just partying. But when we fail, it forces us to go internal and think deeply about what made us fail. Why did we fall? How can we succeed from this? Or what can we learn from this? Or what good can come from this? And those are the kind of questions that took me from moving back in with my mom, losing my luxury apartment, almost literally having my car taken by the bank because I got like 3 months behind on car payments. That took me from all that to literally within just 3 to 4 months after that to already building a 5-figure per month online store, then a 6-figure per month online store, and then moving back out of my mom's house. So that's one of the times that literally I was down and out, and that just really made a huge comeback.
Wow, that's incredible. And so how long did it take you to get back on track? What was the time frame?
So the time frame, I would say it was about 3 to 4 months. I would say it was about 3 to 4 months. Yeah,
Impressive.
yeah, about 3 to 4 months for sure.
Right. Wow. So so now your next thing is buy your mom a house or give her
That's
an upgrade so she can always have a place.
for sure, for
All
sure.
right. Yeah, so that is something that I had been very successful too. And at one point I lost just about all my tenants and I had a mortgage, which I usually didn't. And so I had to pay the bills and I was like remodeling this huge 12,000 square foot building and living in it
Yeah.
because it didn't make sense to be anywhere else. And I had a day shift and a night shift, and I was painting and doing design in this building. And then for part time, I said, well, I'll try Uber. Okay, so so there I was in my, I think it was a BMW X1.
Yeah.
It wasn't as fancy, but it was still a pretty nice car. And the sad thing was the universe said no. Because I pick up my first ride, they said, "Can we stop at the liquor store?" It was a cute little couple. They were old enough. I was like, "Sure, whatever." And I'm parked, and someone rear ends me, hit and run.
Oh wow.
And I was like, okay, then. I guess, and of course there were witnesses and I was covered, the car was covered, but that was the first and last and only Uber situation. I said, well, I think that there's somebody's trying to tell me something here. I'm not even driving. And so that was my experience, but it was the willingness to roll up your sleeves and do whatever it takes.
Yes.
So for me, that was okay. Tried out the Uber. I was literally painting the building and running the teams of people that were remodeling this big building and living in this warehouse in Burbank, which was a very nice warehouse, but the acoustics were incredible. And so that's something. It's when you're able to do that,
Yes.
then you realize it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, it's who you're being and all you're doing and how you show up that people will see you. It doesn't matter what you drive, where you live, none of that matters. It's who are you? And then you take steps to do whatever you need to do to get to the level and standard that you want in your life.
Yes.
Now Tony talks about the thermometer, the temperature. Like we have a zone, a set standard for ourselves. So if that's making 200,000 a year, then it's hard to beat that. And then when you go below that, it's like, whoa, wait a minute, that's not the right temperature for me. And so that's like our set point. How did you change that to such a high level so quickly? What was the switch for you?
Well, the switch for me, like I read somewhere where it says there's two driving forces, either desperation or inspiration. So being in such a terrible state for me, it was really desperation because at that point, like my whole goals and whole focus from the very beginning before I lost myself was literally just helping my mom. Like when I was that janitor working at Knott's Berry Farm, only earning $7 an hour, I would literally have to skate to work every day because I didn't have enough money for a car. My mom couldn't buy a car. And that skate was literally an hour and 30 minutes to there and hours and 30 minutes back there. So I was skateboarding all the way there and back. So my main driver has always been my mom. Just always want to help my mom because she's a single mom and she raised all 4 of her kids. And she has 2 sets of twins. Me, my twin sister, and my big brother and my big sister are twins as well too. So it was just like I've always felt that I was just chosen one. Like I was the one that's going to be able to change my family's bloodline from one of being of poverty to one of being of prosperity, so we can actually have an impact on future generations to come. And what motivated me is like going back to that point and then literally having to move back in my mom, and then just witnessing like, dang, like I made all this money, and I was helping her a lot before, but as I was making all that money, I just became very like I lost myself. So I wasn't helping her as much, but I was still helping her. But then moving back in the house and having nothing at all, having to see her struggle again, having to see her as well go start to do things like Instacart, which is where you do grocery shopping for other people, having to see her to go do that, that literally pissed me off so badly, because I would hear how she's getting paid. I'm feeling like, man, my mom is worth so much more than what she's actually getting paid, driving her car to literally drop off groceries for other people. And then like she had got another job, and then she had got fired from it. So it's like she didn't have no job security, especially with the world going on right now. It's just very tough to even think that job security is really a thing. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping people create something on their own. But that's what drove me so much, which is seeing my mom again struggle. And it wasn't just my mom, it was also my twin sister, because she moved back then as well too, and she was having another baby, which is my nephew. And I was like, damn, this is my chance to start all the way over. When I felt like, and it's funny because this is around a time where I found Agape, which is the spiritual center, and I found it actually a few days before my birthday, a few years ago, and I felt like when I found it, it was a sign from the universe saying like, this is your rebirthing period. And that's when I moved back in. My mom, I got my sister is back in, my big brother moved back in as well too. So pretty much we were all back in the same house, all four of us. So it's like, this is my time where I connect back to what really matter and really find myself, which is my family. And I've seen them all come together and still being like just happy when we were with each other. That motivated me more than anything, was my family. Just realizing, man, this is my purpose. This is my why, to give them a better life, because that's what I want. That's what I want. And that's what motivated me to kick things into gear and do things I didn't want to do. Because there's always gonna be things you don't want to do. But like how you said, you have to do some things, because it's never a lack of resources that's a problem. It's a lack of resourcefulness. That's the only problem. So I became resourceful, and I started doing all those little things that I know that I did not want to do, but I know would help me push me forward and toward making my goals and dreams a reality, and being able to help my mom, my brothers, and my sisters, and my baby nephews that were even more important to me, because my baby nephew, it just means everything. I look at him as he's like my own son. So I don't know if it's because me and my sister are twins that he's like closest to me, but it's just like that's my motivation. That's my why, as well as my family. So that's what made me really just push into gear with everything.
Yes, your energy is so incredible. I remember seeing you at Agape's, my church home as well, and seeing you there with my daughter and with some of my kids when they come over. And I'm telling you, I'm like, this, you got to be friends with Jay, because he is so smart and his energy is so similar to my own kids. And so that's something. Now you've got a hidden sister. Holy smokes, I've got to meet the family. I'll adopt it, everyone.
For sure.
I have 6 kids, right? But it's one of those things where you just love all your children so much. And when we go through tough times as a parent, you never want your kids to suffer or struggle. And so it is something we'll do. We will walk on fire. Moms will walk on fire for their kids. There is no question, no doubt about that. And that's what I love having you here, Jay, because people listening in need to figure out some extra income so they can provide for their families or help their parents out. So I'd love to hear some of the secrets and tips of what you do and how you make all this money. What is the secret? How do we do this?
Yeah, totally. So the concept or the business model that I teach, it's not a new business model. It's one that's been around since literally like 1900s, maybe even before that, but it's called drop shipping. And all drop shipping it's literally that you have a deal with a supplier who literally creates the product and literally has an inventory of the product. So you never ever have to buy any inventory, and you never ever have to ship any of the products whatsoever. The only job that you have is getting people to your store, and literally once they pay like at your store, you literally take that money and then you keep like half of it. So let me give you an example. Let's say we have a store, right? We have an online store that's opened, right? And someone goes to that store and they pay retail price for, let's say, like some headphones let's just say we're selling some headphones for $100. They go to our store and they pay retail price $100. So retail price, for those of you who don't know, that's just the price the stores actually charge you. Wholesale price is the price it's just think of it as a special discount the stores get for reselling the product to you, right? So we put on our store those headphones for $100. Someone goes to our store, they pay us first $100. And then that money goes into our account in 2 to 3 business days. We take that $100 that they paid us first, and then let's say our supplier charges us a wholesale price of $50 for those headphones. We then, out of that $100, we take 50 of it, keep it as our profit, and send the remainder 50 to our supplier. And then our supplier fulfills the order, they package the order, and they ship the order to our customers. And literally, that is pretty much what drop shipping actually is. So there's a few different secrets and tips that I actually teach all of my students to actually help them become very successful at this business model, right? So the first one is literally finding the right product, right? So that's the obvious one, right? Everybody says, okay, man, I got to find the right product. But how do you do that, right? Well, the first thing that you want to do is you want to think what Zig Ziglar said. He said, if you know what a person wants or needs, you have the ability to make a fortune. And also realize this, that people, they don't buy products, they buy solutions. So that's super, super important, because when you realize that you're not just trying to find things that you want to sell, you're not just trying to find like, oh, this hat, this shirt, this jacket, or this watch, because those are things that are going to be a lot more competitive, especially if you're just now beginning a dropshipping business. So what you want to do is you want to focus on products that solve a problem. And now when you think about that, people are like, oh man, like what products solve a problem? Every product you ever bought solves a problem. If you bought a refrigerator, you have a refrigerator in your house, that solves a problem. The problem that it solves is it keeps your food fresh. Without that refrigerator, your food will go bad very fast. Let's say, for example, if you bought a watch, what problem does it solve? It tells you what time it is, right? There's multiple things you want to look into when it comes to finding problem-solving products. And the first thing you want to go is you want to pick a niche. So a niche, however, some people say it differently. But when you come to picking a niche, you can literally start off with things that you're passionate about. And then you can start off with things you're passionate about, and you can also start off with other specific niches. Like I show all of my students over 450 of the most profitable niches you can go in if you don't know what niche to actually jump in. But it's cool when you can start off with what you're passionate about, whether it be in a yoga niche, whether it be in a music niche, whether it be in literally any niche you can think about, sports, entertainment, anything. You can literally build a store around it. And when you want to think about is literally just think about like all the times that you went to go buy things because you needed to solve specific problems, or you were passionate about things. Because the other thing is you either find products that solve a problem, or you find products that serve a passion. Because people buy based off of emotion, and they justify that purchase later with logic. So when you're touching psychological buying habits, like let's say, for example, you're touching people's emotions, they're going to buy more, whether it be things that they're passionate about. Let's say, for example, people love what? Their pets, their dogs, their kids. They're passionate about like giving things to them. So one of our stores that we sold quite a while ago, it was a dog's clothing store, but it was a street fashion dog's clothing store. So it's something that people love. They want to like dress their dogs as cool and nice as literally as they dress, right? So we did really, really well with that store. We've had quite a bit of stores that we've sold before, but that's the main thing when it comes to finding winning products. We can go into the marketing stuff later on, but I just want to make sure I don't overwhelm you guys. But that's the main part when it comes to finding winning products. There's a little bit more into that, but that's like the huge thesis of it all so far. So.
Yes. Now, that is, are you doing wholesale like you have a sales tax number and you're doing it that route, or?
So the beauty of this is you don't actually need to have a wholesale license or anything like that at all, because the cool thing is you can go on websites like AliExpress.com, which is a sister company of Alibaba.com, which allows you to sell one-off items instead of buying bulk, because on Alibaba.com, you have to buy bulk items, and that's just risky. Like when you just not starting your business, you don't know what product is going to sell and what's going to work. So if you buy a whole bunch of inventory up front and none of it sells, you just lost all that money on inventory. That's why drop shipping is so powerful and such one of the greatest business models, because you don't have to buy inventory up front. You don't have to do any of those things up front. You don't need a wholesale license or tax ID or any of those things to actually start, because all you literally do is you can find amazing suppliers on AliExpress.com. And then you literally just work with one of those suppliers and they already give you the wholesale price. So AliExpress.com is just a website that's based in China. There are US suppliers as well too, but it's based in China, and it's literally, it gives you access to suppliers that allow you to be able to just sell products right away off of wholesale prices. So
incredible. That is so incredible. Now, I made a lot of my money years ago having gift stores. So at 23, I opened my first 5,000 square foot store. This was back in the day. We didn't have online. We didn't have any of that. So it was like we had big cell phones and huge camcorders, like 20-pound cameras to record a video. It was ridiculous. And so there is so much to learn. And in running that business, I made every mistake in the book. And, as a younger person trying to I didn't know business, I knew people.
yeah.
And I would have to you have to buy bulk, definitely wholesale. I had the wholesale license and all that. And then anything that didn't sell at my store, I would sell at the swap meet.
Yeah.
And so there I was. I have a fancy store, and then I'm at the swap meet on the weekend, trying to get my money back to reinvest, to buy. And it took about 6 months to figure what my client base wanted.
Yes.
And to really make money. And then there was the marketing, which I think is the next piece you're going to share about, is the marketing. So how does that work in this new online situation?
Yeah, totally. So marketing in its very essence, just a real quick overview of what marketing actually is, so it can be simplified to you, is marketing is literally nothing more but finding out people's pain points that they have around a specific area or specific niche, and then literally giving them a solution. So you're kind of like a doctor that prescribes a prescription that actually works for people, right? So I like to call it PSPs. You're prescribing PSPs. PSP is an acronym that stands for problem solving products, right? That's what you're prescribing to people once you find out their problems. So all of marketing, I'm sure you've seen, here's an extreme example, but have you ever been on TV, you saw one of those commercials that says, hey, are you experiencing heartburn or something like that? That literally start off the commercial with someone bent over, like heartburn or heartache. And they just like that, because what does that do? It makes you, if that product is for you, you're shaking your head like, man, yes, that's my pain. That's what I experience. So it starts off with the pain point that you have, and then it provides you with the solution. And then the solution is literally the product, whether it be whatever they're selling. And it's like, okay, here is the solution. This person then took this, and now this is how they feel afterwards. So literally it shows you what your pain points are, and then provides you solution, and then backs it up with a testimonial / review, which makes you build trust. Like, oh, wow, this worked for that person, can work for me. So that's like the marketing in its simplified, super, super simplified form. That's what marketing is, right? So now that you know what marketing is, now we have to realize what makes people buy from you when they can either go to Amazon or when they can go to, let's say, one of their own favorite stores, right? Well, the number one thing that's going to make people buy from you is realizing this. People only shop with and buy things from people that they know, like, and trust. So once you remember that, people only shop for things from people that they know, like, and trust. Now that you're probably like, oh, Jay, okay, if that's true, I'm brand new to this. How is anybody going to know me, like me, or trust me? And I'm not trying to spend just hundreds of thousands of dollars on marketing to be able to get known and to be trusted and to be like, how can I do that? Well, the simple answer to your question is something that's called influencer marketing. So this is one of my favorite forms of marketing, and huge brands have literally blown up and skyrocketed just from basically using influencer marketing. It's like the cheat code to growing the brand super, super fast. And how influencer marketing works is, I'm going to just give you an example so you can understand it. You've probably seen a commercial with some celebrity promoting some specific product, right? Let's say, for example, Shaquille O'Neal, who used to be an NBA professional basketball player. He has a lot of icy hot commercials. He'll go on TV. You've probably seen this commercial with Shaq talking about icy hot and how you should actually get it, right? And if you don't know what icy hot is, it's just some kind of cream that relieves pain on your body, right? But Shaq, why do they use Shaq? And they pay Shaq hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that commercial. Why do they do that? Why? Because Shaq has a lot of fans. His Instagram account literally has over, I think, like 20 million followers. So that means he has over 20 million people that know, like, and trust Shaq. So if they know, like, and trust Shaq, and Shaq is promoting a specific product, let's say they're promoting your product, those people automatically are going to trust Shaq because they know, like, and trust him.
Yeah.
And remember, people only do business with people that they know, like, and trust. So when you can connect people's idols, people's influencers that they look up to, their heroes, with a product, and they're endorsing that product, that's going to just boost your sales like crazy and drive a lot of traffic and eyeballs to your brand because, again, it's someone that they know, like, and trust. And just think about it like this. How many times have you ever had a friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, cousin, or a relative or anybody ever tell you, hey, this food place was freaking amazing. It was so delicious, so bomb. You have to try it. And what did you go do?
Yeah.
You went not too long ago to go try that food place and like, oh my God, it is amazing. That brand didn't even have to speak to you at all. That brand didn't run any specific ads to you or try to build a lot of relationships with you. Why? Because someone that you know, like, and trust referred you to that brand. Yeah. So that's what influencer marketing is. Now that you got that idea what it is, the next question is, okay, so how do you find influencers, right? Yes. Well, now, what'd you say, Sheila?
I said, yes, tell me. Because how can you tell the difference and how could you pay so much to, how do you find one when you're starting out that actually would make sense?
Yeah, so we use one of the greatest platforms you can use right now is going to be Instagram, right? And you can either find influencers, like, for example, on TV, to get someone like Shaquille O'Neal or something like that, that's going to cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars or like tens of thousands of dollars, whatever. But what you can either get people for free to do shout outs for you. We call them shout outs, where they do a little promotion for you on their Instagram to all their followers. You can go get someone to do it for free in exchange for your product. So let's say, for example, if you have like one of our students, Jerry, he has a store called Kaiser Customs, and what they build customized Air Force Ones. And what they do is they give influencers that they want to work with a pair of these customized Air Force Ones. And once they give them a pair of those Air Force Ones, they promote them. But they work with influencers that have millions of followers, hundreds of thousands of followers. And just think about this. There's never been a day and time, literally, where you can literally, let's say, give your product to someone, and literally within that same day, within 24 to 48 hours, you can literally have over hundreds of thousands of people view your brand, view your business, and view your product. It's never existed at this easily a way to actually do it. But you can work with these influencers on Instagram that have hundreds of thousands of followers, that has 1 million followers. I usually like to work with people anywhere from the range of like 50 to about 250,000 followers or more. But those are the ranges that works really, really well. And then you can literally get people to give the product. You can give your product for a shout out. Let's say if they don't want to do that, they want to like require a payment. The payment's not nearly as expensive as you may think. Like a lot of these influencers, they literally only charge like, let's say $50, $100, depending. The bigger they get as well, literally, the more they're going to charge. So if you're working with someone that's like 1 million followers, 2 million, that'd probably be a lot more expensive. That'd probably be like 1,000 to 2,000, but you don't want to start there. I always tell all of my students to start off small, right? Start off with influencers that have 50,000 followers. They're not going to charge you more than $100. Like, so it's good. And a lot of those people, you can give them the product in exchange for a promotion. So let's think about it. If their product only costs you $50 and they do a promotion for you, and that promotion generates you $2,000, you literally just turn $50 into $2,000. And that may sound, oh, wow, that's crazy. But it's true, because look at this. If we go back to the product research phase, where I told you about find products that solve a problem and pick a niche. Let's say, for example, if you're in a dog niche, that means I'm only going to work with influencers that are around the dog niche. So influencers that have dogs. So for our old store, which is in the dog clothing, which was in the dog clothing niche. And that niche, we worked with other dog influencers. So people who have Instagrams for their dogs, we literally would send the clothing for their dog, and the dog would literally just model the clothing, and they would push people to our stores. And that worked extremely well. Extremely well. But you know why it works even more? Because that influencer that we use matches our avatar for our customers, our customer avatar that we want to sell to. It literally is identical. So literally you can see why it's so much profitable versus like if you do a TV campaign, they're going all around the world. Like you can't track those things. You can't make sure, hey, people who like dogs will see this. You can't do that. So it's a lot harder. So that's like the marketing piece. There's quite a bit more into the influencer marketing section, but that's an overall brief description of like what influencer marketing is and how you can get an advantage in a marketplace. Because when you have competition, the easy way to destroy the myth of saturation is to work with influencers. Because here's a few beauties that happen. When you work with all these influencers to promote your brand, you also get as an asset the videos that they create for you or the pictures that they actually take with your brand and your product. And you can use that on email. Sorry, there's an airplane right here. But you can use those assets as in your email marketing, on your website, on your social media, on your social media, more ads. You can use all those things. So you're literally building assets with other people. Then when people see more people have like hundreds of thousands of followers or 50,000 followers, it just makes your brand a lot more trusted and it gives a personal touch to it. So you bring a different feel than any other brand can actually bring that doesn't do that. Most brands don't work with influencers on a high scale at all. They just literally just try to build their brand regularly. But that's how you eliminate that myth of saturation as well too, by focusing on influencer marketing and building a community. Because here's a good thing: when you work with these influencers and you do these promotions, those people will start to follow your brand, let's say on Instagram. And once you start building up a following on Instagram, that means every post that you make on Instagram becomes like an ad that literally generates sales. And all you have to really do is just post on your Instagram. And you can schedule that, and you don't even have to create posts. You can have those influencers do those posts for you to really build out your brand. And every time those posts go out, you can generate organic sales because you have a following. So I know that's a lot.
That's incredible. Do you have like a marketing degree?
No, I do not. So
you know what? You're better than most people I've heard that have a marketing degree. You are incredible with all this. This is incredible. Now, can you explain, like, if I wanted to sign up for your program and I'm brand new, what does that look like? How does that work?
Yeah, so totally. So what our program actually goes into, there's 3 parts of our program. The first part is we do live Zoom calls with all of our students. So it's group coaching calls. These calls can last anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. If you can't make it, it's all recorded. But these live calls is so you can actually get help right there on the spot. If you want to get this is like the checkpoints. We call it the checkpoints. So if you go through our training program and then you're finding a product, before you go out there and test it, you join a live call. You say, hey, Jay, what do you think about this product? Is this a product I should test, or is this a bad product idea? So I'll literally give you my confirmation before you go out there and test it, because you don't want to waste money or you don't want to waste time. So that's what these live calls are about, to answer your questions, to help you find influencers on the spot and to give you ideas for your marketing. So we do 2 live calls right now every single week, Monday and Friday. And those are group coaching calls to literally help you. And then the second part of the mentorship is literally the group community. So our community is built on an acronym called TEAM, which stands for Together, Everyone Achieves More. So our community is a huge, important part of our entire program, because the thing is with community, your environment is more important than heredity. So what that means is what you surround yourself with has a bigger impact on who you become than what you're actually born with. So our community is really structured to just give as much value and attack 2 sides of success. One side being the mindset and the other side being the actual business tactics. And you need both for success. So our community, it revolves all around that. And that's also as well too. If you can't make it to the live calls, you can ask your questions in there. You can get inspired by a lot of our other students' successes and the results that they actually have. Because as you see other people be successful, it literally inspires your success and builds belief within you. And whatever the mind can believe and conceive, it can achieve. So
Yes.
once you have that belief within you, you can achieve, because you see other people in other circumstances, like one of our students, Samuel, he's literally from Africa. He literally had no business experience. He could barely afford to get into the mentorship at first. And literally in 90 days after joining the mentorship, he's already been able to build a $10,000 per month online store. So we have all kinds of just testimonials like Samuel and other students like Jerry that I mentioned earlier on as well too, that literally get in and be able to change their entire life. So that's the second part, which is the community. That's the most important thing to me. And I actually have fun teaching my students and just engaging with them. And last but not least is the actual training program. So in the training program, it's going to teach you step by step in a copy and paste format exactly how to find a winning product, exactly how to actually market your product as well too, and exactly how to build an online store. Because a lot of people may think, oh man, I'm not tech savvy, or I may be too old or too young to be able to build an online store. I'm not from this country. In reality, we have students in all those scenarios. It doesn't matter your age at all. We have students like Jerry and Margaret who literally are close to like 65 or 70. They built extremely successful online store. They're one of our top fastest growing students actually of all time. The way they've grown has been ridiculous. But that's one of our top students, but they didn't know anything about technology. They didn't know how to build any stores at all. But we teach in such a simple way, step by step, in a copy and paste format. All you literally have to do is watch the videos and take action. Watch the videos and take action. When you have questions, hop on the live calls or ask inside the community. So that's what our program and our mentorship actually looks like, in order to like just join, and that's what you're going to get. And I know for your guest, Sheila, I created like a free training for all those if they want to get more ideas like how this whole thing works. I literally break down an entire free training and show tons of our student successes as well too.
Oh, wow. Outstanding. Yes. Yes, that's wonderful. That is incredible. Well, my goodness, I'm going to have my family and I on that free training trip too, 'cause this is important. Now, I'm wondering, have you seen people that have reverse engineered this for a product or service that they do versus a drop shipping?
Yes, totally. So like a lot of our students, some of them, what they end up doing is they either, with all the skills that they learned, they turn it into agencies. So whether it's like they do it for other brands themselves, or they do it for their own brands, right? So let's say like there's some people who like in our students that created like their online store agencies. Since we teach you so like how to actually build a store that converts, because some people, what they do when they build online stores is you just try to make it all pretty and sexy and stuff like that. But pretty doesn't always sell. It may look nice, but you always have to think about conversions, which means how to build your store to actually sell a lot more products. So when people learn that skill, they just learn it and they start doing it for other people, and they charge and create an agency off of that, or they create an influencer marketing agency, since we teach them how to actually find great influencers, and they find influencers for other people. So there's all kind of different business models, but the main thing is it works for pretty much any business model, whether you're a coach or anything at all, because the cool thing that we teach is literally marketing. Like wherever every business thrives off of marketing, and the easiest way to market is by building a following. So the influencer section and how to build a following for your brand is all inside of there. And that's what literally would teach you inside the influencer marketing section of the program. You can use that for any types of business. We have students like one of our students, Leslie. She's a real estate agent, and she used a lot of the influencer marketing section to like grow her brand as a realtor. So what she did with influencer marketing is she found these Instagram accounts that are what's called theme pages revolved around real estate. And then she would pay them to do shout outs to grow her brand as well too. I think she actually sells a course on teaching people how to actually grow a real estate business or something like that. So she did something around that, and she also sells real estate as an agent as well too. But she took that to grow her brand, to sell more of her course and stuff like that. So you can use these skills and strategies pretty much on any business that you have, because every business thrives off of marketing, and you can always add pretty much products to any business. And just because we're drop shipping a specific product, you can, if you're not drop shipping, if you actually have inventory, you can use the same thing. You can use the same marketing strategies, the same how you build your store strategies, because a lot of businesses that are brick and mortar have suffered quite a bit the last few years. So they need to be online. That's why so many businesses that are not online are going offline, and they're literally going bankrupt because they don't know how to build an online presence or anything like that.
This is so true. When I opened that first gift store, and I ended up with 5 and bought the buildings, and that's how I got into real estate. I had to learn marketing.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What? I have the same products 6 months in." But
Yeah.
when I hired the marketing expert, and I wanted an expert that could teach me
Yes.
so that I wasn't dependent on this person for the rest of my life. And so it was something similar where I learned, and why do I do this? What? And I made like 5 times and 10 times what I was making and more
Yeah.
just from the marketing. And then real estate. And you actually were on the caravan tour with me in Beverly Hills doing real estate and as one of my guests. And we had a blast and went to the power meeting. What is that? It's also marketing.
Yeah.
Everything. And it really is. And so you're like, if you don't know marketing, this is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Forget PhD at school, get the marketing so you could pay for school.
100%. Like I'm a college dropout. I have no degrees to my names. I was literally a C student in high school, so I'm not like the smartest person in the world. It's just I
I
learned.
think you are. Excuse me. I know you are.
I just learned these skills because I really believe skills pay the bills. And the cool thing about drop shipping is it forces you to focus on one thing, which is marketing, because you don't hold any inventory. So you don't have to worry about having a warehouse. You don't have to worry about creating a product. You just gotta literally market. So once you can take that skill to literally anything. Like if you want a university in marketing, I will literally say start drop shipping and it can help your entire business, whatever you do, because you'll learn marketing. And if you can take marketing into any business, so that's a university of literally marketing. It's not really schools and stuff like that. Like Jim Rohn says, a formal education will make you a living, a self-education will make you a fortune. And I subscribed to that since I was younger. And although I dropped out of college and I have no degrees, one thing I never stopped doing is educating myself. But I educated myself in skills that I can make money in no matter what happens around the world, which is marketing, copywriting, and selling. Those are literally what I call the money-making skills that will always pay more than just the bills and allow you to live a free life. Because with all this stuff happening in the world, if you know how to market and sell things to help people with the specific problems that they're going through that they need, you'll be able to make a fortune. Also, you need that because, like Zig Ziglar said, if you know what a person wants or needs, you have the ability to make a fortune. So,
Yes. And college is great. I actually um, went and learned computer programming and then opened this gift store and made so much more money. It was like community college certificate. And later I went back to school because everyone had a degree. And I was like, "Oh, I've got to spend like 40. Back then it was 40, 50,000 for this degree. All
yeah,
right, let me just get this paper because it's a big deal for people." And the professors had me co-teaching the class because they're like, "You got 5 stores and you're making money." And I was co-teaching the class to get so it's like the experience
yeah,
of all the times I failed and got back up was
yeah,
was better than the books
yeah,
for sure. So even if you do have a degree, and I think it's great if you can or want to. I have one daughter that's in a psychology degree program, but she's learning everything. And she's coming to this class that you're offering for us for sure because she is so interested in learning about all this. It makes
yeah.
all the difference no matter what you do. There's a psychology in
Yes,
marketing too.
100%.
So you learn so much. Now, we are coming closer to the end of our talking time. So I'd love for you to share how to get started, how people can connect with you and learn more.
Yeah, totally. So the website that was a free training, it's www.d as in dog, s as in Sally, d as in dog again. So DSD secrets with the s.com/register now. And that's going to take you to literally a page where you just put your name, your email, and it's going to allow you to access the free training right away. You don't have to wait. You can just watch the training. I'm literally going to walk you through exactly how we built a brand new store to over 5 figures in only 20 days. So it sounds extreme, but I'm going to show you exactly how, and I actually show you what the product was. I'll show you how it solved the problem. I'll show you how we market it. And I even show you what influencers we actually used. So that's literally the training. www.dsdsecrets.com/register now. And if you want some more free content on Instagram, my name is Prince J Leo, Prince PrinceJayleo. So Prince J Leo. And it's the same for TikTok as well too. So if you're on TikTok, it's Prince J Leo as well too. So those are the platforms where I do quite a bit of teaching and education. Instagram, I do a lot of lives as well too, like almost every day lives where I just teach, talk, answer questions, and just help people get started, because now more than ever, and it's very important for you and your family that you build some kind of income online where you can actually help you prosper. Because honestly, for us personally, like with everything going on in the world, a lot of people lost their jobs and lost their businesses. But for us, this may sound like a bad thing, but I'm sorry, but our business have grown dramatically because everybody is converted to shopping online. They feel safer to shopping online. The only problem is most people aren't selling online. Just imagine if you sell just a fraction of how much you shop every single year online. You make a pretty good living. If not, you at least make an average living. And that's just an extra stream of income.
That's incredible. All right, Jay. Well, thank you again. It was an honor to have you, my favorite plat, my good friend and agape friend, on the show. And yes, so I look forward to seeing you again soon and being in the class. And for those tuning in, stay tuned. We'll be back after these messages.
All right. Thank you.
On IG, it's princejleo.com. If you are just tuning in, this is NBC's Sheila Mac Show here on KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind. I'm your host, Sheila Mac, and today I have a couple of announcements. First, I would like to hear from you. That's right. I would love to hear from you. To be honest, I want to know what your breakthrough is, what your reboot is. How are you reinventing and rebooting your life? What shows would you like to hear more of? What information do you need to help you get back on track this year? And to do that, the best way to connect with me is actually through my new YouTube channel, and that is Sheila Mac Show on YouTube. And there you can see past recordings, and you can also see other information and shares that I have. And I would love for you to share in the comments there what you're needing more of and what you're rebooting this year and how we can help you get back on track. Here, the Boots Off Your Obstacles is sold out in Vegas.
Is not one size fits all, just like a pair of boots or a bra. So the formula is designed to help you through any situation.
Grab a copy of my new best-selling book, Bootstraps and Bra Straps, the formula to go from rock bottom back into action in any situation. It is now available on Audible as well as on Amazon and Kindle and at www.sheilamac.com.
If you are just tuning in, this is NBC Sheila Mac Show here on KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind. I'm your host, Sheila Mac, and I have a special free gift announcement for you. That's right. Get a free introduction to the Boots formula and meditation by joining our email list for business leaders, busy moms, and rock stars like you. To get your free gift, just go to www.sheilamac.com/free gift. That's right, sheilamac.com/free gift for your gift today.
Tune in again right here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.